Welcome to Starborne's Sovereign Space. This is a strategic game and there's a lot to learn. You'll start an empire, join alliances and factions, engage in battle, and stake your claim on the frontiers of space. If this is your first time playing, we encourage you to watch this introduction video first, since it will help you get started on the right foot. First of all, it is highly beneficial to play through the tutorial and finishing all the tutorial tasks found under the Task tab at the top of the screen. This will teach you the basics of the game. Also, make sure you sign up to our Discord to find an alliance. There are lots of friendly players there who will help you get started. When you open Sovereign Space for the first time, you'll be greeted by the user interface. In the upper left-hand corner is the player's avatar. A selection of avatars is available if you want to change it. Below that is the notification area. Watch that closely. That's where your rewards, messages, and other info will be displayed. Below that is the chat window, which you can enlarge if you want to. At the top of the screen, different panels are shown, each clickable to show relevant information. At the right side is the global currency bar. And at the bottom right-hand side are the buttons for the building and ship queues. To start building, simply click on the button and select the building you want to construct. Buildings have different specialities and affect your empire in various ways. Be sure to read their descriptions carefully. Tier 2 buildings can be constructed once your station reaches level 2, and so on. The higher the tier of a building, the more time and resources are required to build it. Specialization buildings cost different amounts of each resource depending on which path they follow: military, industrial, or domain. Empire unique buildings are powerful tools that boost your stations in various ways. Each can only be built on one of your stations, so choose wisely. Your stations harvest their surroundings. When hovering over a station, you can see the hexes it is harvesting. Outposts can greatly increase your productivity. Select your industrial fleet and right-click on the map where you want to build the outposts. Mining facilities harvest resource fields within their range, not moons or planets. Mining colonies harvest moons and planets within their range. You can hover over outposts to see what hexes they are harvesting. Habitation domes harvest ice within their range. Ice converts to labor, which is an important resource in Starborne used to supply manpower for your fleets. Many special buildings affect outposts, so be sure to utilize that. Scanners reveal missions and show movements within their sphere of influence. Your alliance also benefits from them. To view their influence, you need to change the view mode into exploration mode, either by hitting the spacebar or the arrow located in the top corner of your UI. Many outposts can affect multiple stations. The Stargate is a great example of such an outpost, as it affects both stations here and increases movements to and from both stations, in effect applying its bonus twice. The missile battery is the best way to defend your stations early on in the game. Like many other outposts, they affect all stations in their radius of influence, and clustering up multiple stations with several missile batteries is a well-known tactic. A fortress is an outpost used to claim an area for your station. It can be used to outclaim other stations. Many outposts can be improved by using a station card. For example, the fortress can increase its claim radius greatly with the card shown here. The logistic hub is a defense structure that allows all fleets docked at the station where the hub is located to defend all stations within its radius of influence. The trading port is an outpost that not only harvests resources from its surroundings, but also allows the player to stream them towards another station. There are special buildings and organizations that also open up that option. This comes in very handy when building up a new station or feeding a resource-hungry capital ship assembly. The Heavy Ship Assembly is a level 4 outpost that allows stations to produce heavy ships that are more powerful and labor efficient than light ships. The Capital Ship Assembly is a unique building that all players can build once they reach level 40 and can only be built once per game. It allows the player to build capital ships. Both capital and heavy ship assemblies gain increased production speed for moons within their sphere of influence. Commodities are used to build and upgrade outposts, and they are imported through the task system. Commodities are a finite resource and reset weekly. Outpost buildings are also limited, so the player can only build one outpost of each level per station. In Starborne, time is of the essence. There is no turn timer, but every move takes its time to execute. The movement of fleets, construction time, and so on is the limiting factor in the game. Movement and construction time can be manipulated with cards, buildings, and outposts. In Sovereign Space, there are different types of ships that offer various ways to play the game. A corvette, for example, is a cheap ship that is excellent for raiding, while the patrol ship costs more but is a great mission runner and defender. Then there are scouts that can scan the map and sabotage stations and outposts, but can also be used in regular combat. Industrial ships are used to build and repair outposts, build new stations, run star missions, harvest solar flares, and they have a huge cargo hold, so they are often used to raid defenseless stations. After building the heavy ship assembly, the player can start building heavy ships at that station. Heavy ships are similar to light ships, but are stronger and use labor more efficiently and often become the mainstay of the Empire's force. After building a level 4 organization called Orbital Symphony, the station can build bombers that are used to destroy other stations. Also, cards can affect ships greatly. As you see, we can give this frigate fleet the ability to bomb by attaching a card to it. Capital ships are by far the strongest units in the game, both in terms of raw power and labor efficiency, and as stated before, each empire can only build one of these. Labor is one of the key elements in Starborne. Fleets lacking labor will not operate efficiently. They cannot depart on offensive movements, and when defending, they will suffer a 90% penalty on both health points and firepower. Industrial fleets are used to build stations and outposts, repair damaged outposts, and collect resources from solar flares. Main combat moves are raids and assaults. Raiding allows you to steal resources from the target, while assault allows the bombing and capture of stations. Bombing is used to destroy stations and can only be performed during an assault. Gunships are primarily used for that purpose, but dreadnoughts are also good bombers, and some cards can grant bombing abilities to other units. In Starborne, troop carriers are used to capture other stations and all buildings in it. Missions are an important part of Starborne Sovereign Space. They award timed cards that are very useful in the game. Scouts, recons, and scanners are used to monitor the environment for missions. The missions vary in type and difficulty. There are 3 types of missions: defense, assault, and recon, which means you need at least one ship of each respective type. Discovering higher level missions requires more scan strength, more units in the fleet, or higher level scanners, and they also need more ships and power to complete. Sabotage is used to disable outposts until they are repaired. This can be very useful to disable a defensive structure just before an incoming attack, for example. Sabotage can also be used to temporarily disable industrial movements to and from a station. cards are essential in Starborne and are used to improve outposts, stations, and fleets. Cards can be crafted using credits or acquired through daily challenges. Timed cards are acquired by doing missions. All cards can be broken down into credits that can then be used to craft a card of your choice. Build R cards are used to speed up the time it takes to construct buildings. It's a very useful way to get your empire up and running faster by acquiring levels and infrastructure points quickly. You will often receive Build R cards when completing achievements, and limited amounts can also be bought in the store. Organizations can be of great benefit to players' empires and playstyles. Only one organization can be built per level unless a unique building that allows more is constructed. Factions are essential in Starborne and allow players to specialize. Different factions allow for different sets of policies, which is another way to fine-tune the playstyle. Sovereign Space has a system of tasks and achievements that are important for players to use to get their empire up and running. Notifications on the left side of the user interface show you what achievements you have completed, and by clicking on them, you can collect your rewards and use them to continue building your station. On the user interface, there's a button that opens up the task view, where a player can also collect rewards for completing tasks and inspect what tasks lie ahead. It is strongly recommended that players start by finishing the tutorial achievements and claiming their rewards. Rewards often include Build R cards that are used to speed up your building process, along with ships, resources, fleet slots, and cards. Finishing the daily challenges and receiving experience for your empire is also important, since that awards infrastructure points which can be used to build new stations, as well as cards that can be used to improve your stations and fleets, or broken down to build the cards you need for your empire. In the end, the game is won by the alliance that captures the most victory points. The game can also be won before set end time by capturing a majority of the victory points and holding them for 72 hours. There's a lot to learn in Starborne Sovereign Space, so we encourage you to jump right in and get started. Good luck, Commander.